Hey guys, Capper here. Welcome back. Today's going to be an interesting video. If you've been around food plotting or land management or deer hunting or seen our channel for the last 10 years, you know that I've tried a lot of different tillage equipment, power tiller, standard disc, chisel disc harrow, chisel disc harrow rake. Anyways, I learned something really interesting in the last month or two on the soil. I don't want to say health, but I want to say moisture. The difference between just working it up with a normal disc on the top, and since I started using the chisel disc, I noticed something really different in the last few weeks as we're planning our fall food plots, and I want to share it with you because I really believe that going forward it's going to make a big difference. And be sure to stay tuned for the follow-ups on these food plots, because we're going to show you the difference between the ones that were chiseled up this spring and now we re-chiseled them this fall, and the ones that weren't chiseled. I just find it interesting and fascinating. I think you'll enjoy it. So anyways, let's get out in the field, and best of luck to all you food plotters. Thanks a lot.
Alright, so the backdrop to my light bulb moment, you know, my aha moment here in September 2023. Project 291, we cut open like 8 new food plots this winter and spring, and this spring I chisel disced all of them and we planted them with some weed and some rye and that. But one of the parcels we sold was a 30-acre parcel. We cleared some food plots on that, and Curtis took that over for the client, for the new property owner, and he used his disc this spring. So he burned them off and he ran his disc over them, and that's where we're at now. So fast forward to September of 2023, and we're working all of these food plots at the same time. So I'm going to show you my light bulb moment out in the field at how much difference I noticed between the ones that I had chiseled this spring and the ones that Curtis just ran a normal disc harrow over, you know, a disc, whatever they call it, an 8-gang disc or whatever. Definitely a noticeable difference, so let's check it out.
Had to drop her in a low gear for this one. Big, dry.
Alright, so if you caught that, this was my first indicator. I just finished doing all of my plots in mid-range with the NS 6010, and here I said I had to drop it in the low gear just to cut these fields over here on this 30-acre piece. Alright, time for the large seed. I was telling Curtis that this field was like 10 times compacted and harder and drier than mine. And he's like, well, I worked it up with a disc this spring, and then I realized I chiseled all of mine this spring when we planted a spring plot in. So I loosened them all up. So definitely that chisel in the back makes a huge difference for a food plot. This thing was so compacted and hard, I had to go over it like 6-7 passes. Alright, so I'm going to give you the remainder of my assessment out in the field here in a second, but really the main gist of it is the fields that I used the chisel on, the chisel disc, were a lot more moist and easier to work up as opposed to this plot here. It was a lot drier, which basically just tells me that, you know, the rain tends to roll off of it or roll downhill and not absorb as much if it wasn't worked up, you know, as deep as a chisel disc. Now that chisel disc, I mean, that'll work down, you know, 6, 8, 10 inches, maybe even a foot at times, depending on how deep you have it. So anyways, I thought I might share this with you guys. If you're into food plotting, you might find it interesting. Them chisels really do make a big difference in a lot of different ways, and I'll continue learning it and bringing it to you as it comes. So best of luck to you food plotters. Let's finish it out. Thanks. This thing was so compacted and hard, I had to go over it like 6-7 passes. But it's busted up now. You know, your very first breakup is the worst, really, as far as busting to a food plot. So He's gonna run the big seed, and I'll drag it with the rake in the back, and then the small seed. It's a beautiful little spot back in here. I like it. I really like it.